So I feel like a lot of people over the years have looked up to people like Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, and Arnold, and have looked at their arm size and have wondered, how did they get those arms? I know that I personally have done that myself in my own lifting career, and I have prioritized arm training a lot in my own situation. So in this video, I wanted to lay out some scientific facts and what I'm personally doing right now to make sure that I see the most progress possible in my arm growth. And these are some tips that you can take on with yourself and also try to switch up in your own personal workout split or training routine. Yo, what is up, you guys? What is up, you guys? Nick Wild here, back with another YouTube video, and thank you guys for tuning in. Like always, make sure you give this video a like and comment down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on post notifications so you can be aware of whenever I post a new YouTube video. For today's topic, I did put up a post on Instagram of should I post an arm training video, like an ultimate kind of guide to, you know, put on size for your arms and how to utilize your arm training to see mass and growth. And everybody pretty much just said yes. Most men wanted the video, but also some of the women too, which is good because I know that this doesn't like really relate to like everybody. So in general, I'm going to be talking about arm training and how to specifically grow your arms and the best way to do it. Personally, I feel like this is an extremely hard feat to overcome because it is very hard to grow your arms. Now, I've dealt with it pretty much my whole lifting career so far, and I have 10 years of experience behind me. On top of that, if you guys don't know, I'm a professional bodybuilder. I've been like just training since I've been very young, about 11 years old. I'm 20 years old right now, living in Calgary, Alberta, and on top, yeah, so I have a lot of career, like lifting career experience behind me, and on top of that as well too, I'm a personal trainer in person and also online as well. Okay, so to start things off, we are going to be talking about the anatomy of the arm, just so you can kind of get a better understanding of what we're talking about specifically. The biceps to start off with, we have the biceps brachii, we also have the brachialis and the brachioradialis, and then we also have the coracobrachialis. These muscle groups are specific to elbow flexion. That's just bending your elbow simply like this. Otherwise, we do have also the triceps. There's the triceps brachii lateral head. Now that's going to be the outside of the tricep. We also have the triceps brachii, and then also the triceps brachii longus. That's going to be the long head of your tricep. Now, like I said before, we do control the biceps through flexion of the elbow, and then we also kind of contract the triceps with extension of the elbow. Now, our wrists and grip also play a role in our training as well too. Now, there are three major grip and wrist positions that you can possibly be in whenever you're training arms. The first one is going to be a pronated grip. For your biceps, this is going to be working your long head and also your outer head. For your triceps, it's going to be working your long head and also more of your mid head. A pronated grip looks something like this, where it's facing, your palms are facing down to the ground. A neutral grip is going to be working the outside of your bicep as well as the long head, and a neutral grip for your triceps is going to be working more of the mid and also the long head of the tricep. Lastly, we do have a supinated grip. Now, this is going to be when your palm is facing up towards the roof. Now, if you're extending your elbow or working your triceps, you will be using more of the lateral head and also the mid head. So this is going to be your outer tricep. If you're working biceps and you have a supinated grip and let's just say you're curling, you're working more of the short head and the long head instead of something like a neutral grip or a pronated grip where you're working more of the outer head of your bicep. Now, all of these have a major role in your training success, but volume and also your training split have a key factor in your success for building big arms. In order to see the best results possible, you have to be training your arms more than once a week. I cannot even pinpoint how many people just go to the gym and they train just biceps. Like, why?
You son of a bitch.
I have some friends that do that. I'm not calling you out, guys, but at the same time, it's like, here's a video for you. You shouldn't be training just biceps at the gym, if that makes any sense at all, like, or just triceps. Like, it's not, you know, like, it's just not optimized for your success in your lifting career or like whatever you're trying to do. Now, in order to see the most results possible, your training volume plays a key role in your success in building this muscle that you want to build. Volume is dictated around how many sets and how many reps you do, let's just say per week or per every time you work out. Now, if you're doing the same amount of volume week by week by week by week, you're not gonna really see the results that you want. Now, in order to see more results, follow this up with progressive overload. That means you're increasing the amount of reps and sets that you're doing per week. Now, if you're increasing the rep scheme and the sets and all of that good stuff weekly, you're gonna be increasing the volume over time, which will then help you see more results because you're ultimately getting stronger, breaking down more muscle fibers, and ultimately stimulating more growth. Studies have shown that you have to at least perform 4 to 6 sets per week to maintain the amount of muscle mass that you have right now. So that means the amount of muscle mass that you've built up right now inside of the gym, you have to perform at least 4 to 6 sets in order to maintain that same muscle mass. That means not really any more growth. The minimum amount of sets in order to see at least a little bit of growth would be about 14 to 20 sets per week. And now the top amount of sets per week to see like maximized growth no matter what would be 26 plus sets per week. 26 plus sets per week is something that I do, more advanced trainees would do, or more advanced lifters would do. Now, if you're just starting out, you do want to hit around 8 sets per week, but if you're getting more into like that advanced area, you do want to slowly increase this to 26 sets per week or above that in order to see more growth. So on the topic of increasing your arm volume and making sure that you're seeing the most results possible by increasing your sets and reps, making sure that you are stimulating your biceps and triceps the most, using progressive overload will be the best technique possible to do this. Fitting this into your workout program right now and your current workout and training split is fairly simple to do. Something you can start to implement is something like a push day or a pull day. Now on a push day, that's anything pushing. Now you can work out your triceps. Anything that's a pull day, you can work out your biceps. Now at the same time though, you can't solely rely on compound lifts to simulate the growth of, let's just say, your triceps or biceps. If you're doing a bench press, you do utilize a lot of your triceps, but at the same time, you can't solely rely on this. Now, there was a study where they took several untrained men and they made them do bench press 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with a 2 to 3 minute rest time in between. And at the same time, they were only doing 3 sets of 10 reps. Now, they did this for 24 weeks. And in the first 3 weeks, this is where they saw the most strength gains. And after 5 weeks, this is when their triceps brachii grew the most. Now that was after 5 weeks. So this indicates that we do need specific isolation arm work in order to grow our arms. And the best way to do this is incorporating it either after the workout or before. Now, also studies have shown that incorporating your arm work or whatever muscle group you're trying to bring up can be implemented before your workout, but personally, I don't usually recommend that. You can implement those exercises in the beginning of your workout, but you also have to think about how that would fatigue your entire body. Now, if you were to implement tricep work at the beginning of your workout, that would already pre-fatigue your arms for when you're hitting bench press. So would you want to pre-fatigue your arms before you hit bench press? Probably not. So just starting out, you probably want to start training your arms at least twice a week. And if you were to further progress off of this, maybe about after 6 to 8 weeks, I would then move up to at least 3 times a week. And then you can possibly move this up to 4 times a week. And then even like myself right now, I'm doing about 5 times a week, which is leaving me with about 25 to 30 sets per week of just pure arm training. It's a little bit more advanced in my situation, but personally what I do is I like to use the legs push-pull split. So the legs push-pull, arms push-pull, and then rest. That allows me to train arms on the pull day and the push day, and then it also gives me a dedicated isolated arm day for myself where I train a little bit heavier, a little bit more intense, usually for about an hour, maybe about an hour and a half. And then on the other days, on like my push and pull days, I'm literally only performing 1 arm exercise for about 1 set, anywhere from 10 to 15 reps. And this so far has given me the best results possible just because I'm literally stimulating my muscles so much. So I'm using both the compound effect. You could probably call it the compound effect by using compound lifts to stimulate the growth of, let's just say, your biceps and your triceps. I'm also implementing an isolated day for my arm growth. Now, for your results, see where you're at right now. See how many times a week you train arms. If you train arms once, bump it up to twice a week. If you train arms twice, bump it up to 3 or 4 times a week. If you train arms 4 times a week, why not try 5? But anywhere past that, I probably wouldn't suggest, because you do need to give your muscles time to recover, and you can't put too much stress on your CNS, otherwise you're gonna fatigue and burn out. Personally, in this training split that I'm doing right now, I can usually only get to anywhere between like 4 and 6 weeks, because it is a lot of stimulus on my arms, and then I'll have to switch over to something else that's a little bit lower in volume. Dictate your volume, see where you're at, and then move forward with that. You do want to get the best of both worlds. You don't want to just stick to hypertrophy training, but you also want to decrease the reps and also get some heavier weight in there too to stimulate more growth. Now, on top of everything that I just said right now, training styles, number 1 is going to be progressive overload. This isn't really a training style, but it's something that you have to implement into your training in order for you to see the most results possible. Progressive overload is increasing the amount of sets and reps per week. This also correlates towards volume as well too, the amount that you do per workout, per exercise. Now, in order to see the most results, you do have to increase this weekly, which I've already talked about. Next is going to be force reps. Now, a force rep is when you're going to like complete maximum with good form and you completely burn out, and then maybe you get an extra one that's forced. Now, on top of this, the force rep is great for breaking down more muscle fiber than you're used to. It's not like you're just strictly using like just clean, good form, 24/7, 365. You know, you do use that force reps. You're bringing up the intensity by like 110%, and you're forcing out some reps. I love force reps. That's my training style. I'm more of a high intensity training style type. That's my kind of jam, you know what I'm saying? Force reps is a great training technique that you can implement into your training, and if you didn't know that that was a training technique, it is. So if you see somebody going ham, I mean, it's force reps, but also there has to be a purpose behind it and when to use it. Personally, I like to use force reps near the end of my workout, where it's kind of like you're just going hard and you're just trying to finish and you're just using force reps, or on the heavy compound lifts. Drop sets, my favorite fucking thing in the world. Sorry for swearing, but I love drop sets so much. This is where you drop the weight by about 50%. They say 50%. I also like 60% sometimes, but you drop the weight about half, so 50%, and you just completely burn out. Not force reps, but you just, I mean, typically kind of force reps, but you just burn out as many as you possibly can. Go for it. Like, just shoot for it.
Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams.
So a superset is when there's an exercise and then there's another exercise, usually no rest in between, but a rest after that. So you go, you do your curls, and then you do your tricep row push downs, and then you rest for 30 seconds to a minute afterwards, and then so on. You do 4 sets. That's a superset when you have 2 exercises back to back. Next is going to be trisets. Now this is when you're going back to back to back to back on an exercise, so you have 3 in a row. I don't typically use this too much, and if you would, you want to use it towards the end of your workout, where you can kind of just simply have like a nice circuit going and you completely burn out. That is called a triset, and you can use this and implement it into your workout program and routine. Play around with them, but these are some different training styles that you can utilize the most to optimize your arm training. Now, to build your arms and how to use these and implement them in, number 1, if you're a beginner, just optimize progressive overload. Just make sure that you're getting in more volume per week. Now, if you're getting into more of an intermediate or an advanced lifter, you will want to implement drop sets, trisets, supersets, all of that good stuff to optimize your training and break down even more muscle tissue. If you're able to implement more advanced training styles into your workouts, let's just say drop sets, supersets, and trisets, then this will ultimately stimulate more growth for yourself. So when to implement these into your arm training would be near towards the end of the workout, or you can even do it in the beginning just to pre-fatigue your biceps or triceps and also pump them full of blood. It also feels really good as well too. In conclusion, you guys, you have to look at your arm training in total and see how much volume you're doing per week and increase this weekly to make sure that you see the most results possible. You have to make sure you look at your split and making sure that it's prioritized over your arm training if that's a muscle group that you're trying to bring up right now. I'm a bodybuilder, so like, I respect this kind of training. This is what I do. you know, if you have to bring up a body part, you have to prioritize it more. It's pretty much just like a bro kind of thing, but at the same time, like I do have training splits where I don't really have dedicated arm days and I'm just training like straight powerlifting, but I also like to dictate and prioritize my arm training so I can have growth, because who doesn't like big arms? Like seriously, man. I mean, I don't have the biggest arms, but who doesn't like big arms? Like, I mean, even like some girls, like you gotta train, some women, you gotta train arms too, man.
The women don't like it. Ain't that what y'all say? You're right. They love it. I'm out of here. Cut the camera.
It's not just us guys out here just wanting to train arms too. So, and I guess tip number 3, compounds do work, but they're not the only option to stimulate arm growth. You do need to isolate your arms and have a specific day for training, or at least have some sort of specific training for arms at the end of your workout, or if you really want to, before your workout. But I personally don't recommend that. That's just kind of out of the playbook. I don't really vibe with that. I like to have it at the end of the workout, or just have a specific dedicated arm day. Number 4 or 5 is gonna be the best of both worlds. Make sure that you get the best of both worlds with your training. That is both strength and hypertrophy. Also different training styles, making sure that you're utilizing progressive overload, force reps, making sure that you're using negatives, slow eccentrics, making sure that you're using and utilizing supersets and trisets as well too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys took something away from it. If you did, make sure you give this video a like and comment down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Turn on post notifications so you can be aware whenever I post a new video. But if you guys did enjoy it, or if you have any other things that I should post or talk about, leave it in the comments below. Other than that, I hope you have a good day or a good night wherever you're at right now, and I hope you guys take care. I will catch y'all in the next one. Good luck with your training, and peace out.
Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!